Israel last December, couldn't find a single person who didn't believe that we had turned our backs on them. And, if we will turn our backs on Israel, if we will renege on Ukraine, how can we expect the rest of the world and our other allies to have any confidence in us?
Republican presidential candidate Dr. Ben Carson on the Steve Malzberg Show here on Newsmax TV, calling for America to stand with Israel as the relationship between that nation and the Obama administration continues to deteriorate. And now that the Iranian threat has increased, the question is out there. Does the U.S. still have Israel's back? For more, let's welcome in our panel. Tonight, from Martin, Tennessee, Scottie Nell Hughes, news director of the Tea Party News Network, and from our newsroom, Javier Manjarres, managing editor of the Shark Tank political blog. Welcome to you both. Scottie, has President Obama so muddled the situation with Israel that Prime Minister Netanyahu doesn't believe a word this government says?
Well, I think absolutely. I think with the Iran deal right now, that Benjamin Netanyahu is completely against going through, and President Obama being the biggest cheerleader with Secretary Kerry, one carrying the water for it. I think absolutely right now the state of Israel is a little bit worried and concerned because according to this deal, we actually have to go to the defense of Iran if something was to happen. So he has every right, and I actually give him a little bit of credit and kind of question why he praised so much when he was at the UN a few weeks ago, why he praised President Obama so much. When the truth is, I know behind the scenes he has to be cursing for this deal that President Obama has pushed. Very quickly, your take on the Israel-American relationship, Javier.
I think the Israelis have been worried ever since he took office in 2008. I think he has shown such disdain to Netanyahu and the country as a whole. Look, I think he speaks more Farsi than anything, and I'm not saying he's Muslim. I'm just saying that I think he relates more with the Muslim community than he does with the Israelis, and his policies have shown that.
All right, let's speak about a couple of guys who want to be the next president. Very interesting. Donald Trump has taken on a lot of folks in the presidential field, a lot of fellow Republicans. But in the wake of some controversy surrounding Ben Carson's comments about the mass shooting in Oregon, he defended Dr. Carson. Scottie Nell, is this just the Donald standing up for a guy unfairly accused, or might we see the development of a Carson-Trump alliance?
No, I think this is exactly who Donald Trump is. Let's remember, Carly Fiorina was not going to be on that main debate stage. She was throwing a fit because she had not, the initial things would have kept her off. Donald Trump came to her defense and said, no, I think she should be on the main stage. You know, he is actually very fair when it comes to these issues. And in this case, it was the Donald being the Donald. He saw that he thought that Dr. Carson was being treated unfairly. And so he tweeted out, this is just who Donald is. As they try to make him out to be the monster, he really is actually a fair guy and will give credit to those when they're due.
Well, let me turn to the dynamics of ticket building, looking past the convention, all the primaries. Javi, is it conceivable that we could have two so-called outsiders on the same ticket? Or do you think if an outsider wins the nomination, they'll have to go with somebody who's either a senator or a governor or at least an office holder?
Sure, it's conceivable. Why not? We have three outsiders in the top 4 or 5 of the Republican presidential primary. And look, I don't think just because let's say, for instance, if Trump becomes the nominee, I don't think he's going to have to feel compelled to pick someone that's more established, someone like a Rubio or someone like that, just because. I think he can pick whoever he wants. I mean, I think the American people would be okay with him picking a Fiorina or even a Donald Duck over someone like another establishment candidate.
Even a Donald Duck.
I think that the American people will be happy with that.
Scottie Nell, what do you think? Very quickly, 15 seconds.
Very quickly, I think guaranteed he will put Ben Carson in his cabinet. Secretary General will be perfect for him, but I think he will put somebody in that counters his lack of government experience.
Fair enough. All righty. Very good. From Martin, Tennessee, Scottie Nell Hughes, and from our own newsroom, Javier Manjarres. You folks have our thanks. And this programming reminder, tonight at 10, Steve Malzberg sits down with Dr. Ben Carson for part 4 of his exclusive one-on-one interview. That's tonight at 10, 7 Pacific, only on Newsmax TV. Now, you heard what Javi and Scottie Nell had to say. What do you have to say? Why don't you send me your comments? You can do so by going to newsmaxtv.com/comments. And speaking of comments, the way I see it, and the way you see it. That's coming up next. Stay with us.